chair dancing. Look at me go.
I lost my speaker. There we go.
Wait. I have to start us up. I have to get us going on because we're on Instagram now, but I have to do everything manually. So we are going live. I think we just went live on Instagram. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, well. Still figuring that one out. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I suppose.
I was gonna say, we'll get there someday.
Yeah, someday.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll see how that all turns out. All right, anyway, sorry, you guys. I'm all distracted now. I'm going to turn our amazing music off. All right, you guys. Hello and welcome. Uh-oh, apparently we're having weak signal strength according to the internet, but that's okay. We're just going to keep just pushing through it. Anyway, you guys. Hey, Ann Brothers, it's Christmas Eve.
It is. It's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Ann Brothers.
Thank you.
And to everybody out there, Merry Christmas to you.
I
feel like we could say Merry Christmas because it's like the night before Christmas. And so
I'm like,
I think that works.
If you can't say it then, when can you say it?
I agree. So here, let's toast. I'm having a traditional Christmas rum and Coke, and you are having and you are having a margarita. So hopefully we'll get to see Marguerite Ann before the night is over.
I'm trying to keep it professional, Jenny. Trying to keep it.
That's nice. Good job. That's awesome. At least one of us is. So yeah.
Exactly.
I'd also like to point out that I'm wearing my traditional Christmas garb. So I have my Christmas hat with a Tyrannosaurus Rex decorating a tree. I have my Grinch tie. You can't see it. There it is. I'm wearing my Grinch tie, and I have the greatest Christmas vest ever created by human hands. It's brown. So
I have on my festive Christmas Santa hat, and I put on one of those one of those necklaces that lights up that looks like Christmas lights, and it's flashing. And then my kitty is next to me. Koo is next to me, meowing at me. He's like, "Pick me up, hold me." Our friends Tony and Jeannie were here today, and they brought their dog Flip Flop, and so the cats were traumatized, even though Flip Flop is blind and almost deaf. But they were still like really traumatized because he ate some of their cat food and slept on the rug in the kitchen. So it was very
awesome.
It really freaked him out.
We have Mike and Cynthia with us today. Our parents are here in my room. You can see Dad back there. He's heating up some eggnog for my mom, who's on the couch with the cat. Wait, let me see if I can't get it over there because I've got too many things plugged in. But yeah, she's over there petting the cat, waving. They're going to give us their 2 cents worth because I have a feeling they might have some things to say about our Mount Rushmores. But we've spent our whole lives not listening to them, so this will just be another one of those nights.
Exactly. It was like, what'd they say? I don't know. Maybe if we keep ignoring them, they'll.
Did you just flip me off, Cynthia? Cynthia just flipped me off.
Oh, and you're the good daughter, so I don't know what to say.
Now she's claiming she didn't. Whatever. So
no,
just drink your eggnog, woman.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So anyway, we probably should dig into this stuff tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this into the stage. There it is. I'm going to take our brand off the background so you can more easily see us, because that really is the important thing. So yes, we are doing the Mount Rushmore. So hopefully, I know everybody's busy on Christmas Eve, but if you have a few minutes before your festivities start, then by all means, please join us. So the Mount Rushmores of Christmas movies and Christmas entertainment, which includes things like TV shows or podcasts or other holiday things. So, and I don't know if I said that earlier, but yeah, we expanded it because we needed to. So we did. And because this is our podcast, we get to do whatever we want.
I thought, it's like, I know like it's not unusual for people to go see like live shows at Christmas, like the Nutcracker or, the Christmas Carol or some play. So I'm like, well, maybe that's like one of your favorite things to do in the holidays. I'm like, have some sort of holiday entertainment. So I wanted to open it up to something besides just TV, because I know my most favorite holiday thing is actually not a TV show or a movie. So I thought,
understand.
Same feelings.
Cool. All right. So welcome back for those of you that have been listening. And if you are a new listener, welcome to you. Here's some things you should know about us. If you're a new listener, the synopsis: we are Ann and Janice brothers. We're sisters. Therefore, we are the Brothers Sisters. We're in our 50s. That means, Ann, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Jenny, I've got your number.
I need to make you mine.
Jane, don't
Jane, don't
change
change
your
your
number.
number. 86.
8675309. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah,
That was horrible.
if you can finish that with the number, then you're also in your 50s,
You're
at
also in
least.
your 50s. Yes. We talk about smart stuff, dumb stuff, fun stuff, or any combination of the three. We are not cool or hip. We know this because the only clothing items we spend real money on are comfortable shoes and supportive bras in no particular order. We are not sexy, see above. Uh, we're not a murder or celebrity podcast. And I was watching Saturday Night Live the other day, and they did a skit, and pretty much it was like these women, their men are going off to a party, and so you have all these different women that are at home alone, and they all spend all of their time watching murder shows on Netflix, which I thought was hilarious. Because-
I've got to learn to protect myself. It's like people that watch zombie movies so that they can prepare for the zombie apocalypse.
That is correct. That is
Mhm.
correct. I think it's that same sort of mentality, or they're trying to take notes, because they wanna murder their spouse or
Oh,
something.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah,
First things
maybe.
first, yeah, I don't know. There's so many things I have opinions on that. We should do one on murder podcast, and we should come up with a perfect way to murder somebody.
Oh, good idea.
I know I have
Ooh,
ideas.
and then we'll end up as an episode, on Poker Face on the Peacock Network, because I've been watching that show and I kinda like it.
Me
I don't think
too.
you would like it. Do you like it?
I do like it. It's not brilliant, but I like before what's her name gets into the show. I like the story.
I do too, and I like how they start the story with, like, with her without her in it, and then you see
Yeah.
the story, and then I like how she's incorporated in it. I
Mhm.
just think it's clever, and it's a throwback to those, 70s mystery shows that I loved when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Columbo, Remington Steele, all those, and it's got this
Yeah.
awesome celebrity cast, and yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
No, I do enjoy
We
it.
Yes. We have been told that we're good to listen to if you don't wanna be angry while you listen to other people talk. Yeah, that's good. We'll
Yeah,
be like
pretty low
your
bar.
okay, now just calm down and breathe and count
Mhm,
backwards from 100 by sevens, and you're gonna
mhm.
feel much better. So maybe we should do a show like that where it's just talking you down for an hour.
Soothing, soothing.
Soothing, that's right. You can find us on our new website, or on Spotify or the YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. And you should know that this is not a PG or G or even PG-13 podcast. Not that we talk about stuff that's gross or explicit, but sometimes we do swear and say naughty things.
Yes,
So
like
just be
penis,
aware of that.
penis.
Penis. Yes, we
Mhm,
do say penis,
mhm.
boobs, vagina. I don't think vagina is a bad name though. It's just a scientific term. That's all.
It is, it is.
And again, please join us on Spotify. Please like us, share us, hit the little bell, do all that
Mhm,
stuff that you're supposed to do. And you don't have to pay anything to do that. It's
mhm,
free,
mhm.
which is nice. All right. So, Anne, for those of you that know the show, you know that we take a couple of minutes to talk about something smart, dumb, or fun that happened this week. So, we're going to start off with you, Ann Brothers. Are you ready?
I am ready. So
Okay.
I did something smart this week, or last week I should say, or the week before. Anyway, I did something smart, and I went to the Glass Art Kalamazoo, which is where you can they have like a you can make your own glass stuff. Like Jenny and I did it a couple of years ago. We made it a paperweight. So I went to Glass Art Kalamazoo where I took a Make It Journey beads class. And basically, it's 3 hours. I was shown how to make a round glass bead with a blowtorch and molten glass. And then I spent 3 hours trying to make a round bead with a blowtorch and molten glass. Surprisingly, more difficult than you would think. So I made like 13 beads. I think three or four of them turned out really well. I was
Yeah,
very excited.
it's super easy to overcook your beads. I
It's
know.
super
So,
easy, especially
yeah.
since I was really bad about dropping the glass onto the mantle, and so I'd have this horrible clump of glass, and then I'd have to spend more time than usual, turning it to try to get it to round out. It's really easy to cook your bead that way. And
So
our instructor, he was great. I think his name was Jake, and I should have remembered because if somebody's showing you how to make something, you should remember their name. But I'm sorry, Jake, if I got your name wrong. But he's like, "All right, now I've shown you how to do this. Now you guys have the next 3 hours to fail."
thanks, bruh. Thanks for your confidence.
What's funny is like because he's totally right. I was like, yeah, I'm like, if I
Yeah.
can get one of these to work out in the next 3 hours, then I have done more than I know more than when I started. So yeah, and it's
Nice.
okay. And
Well
it's okay
done.
to fail. It's okay that I'm going to come in here and like I don't know how to do this, and that's okay. So that was very liberating. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to fail. Yay!
Yay. Well, I have nothing but, I guess I have a little bit of
Mhm.
smart stuff. My smart stuff is that, the Iceland, volcano exploded the other day for real. So, I mean, it real. I mean, it's been kind of thinking about it for the last month, and it finally went off. I cannot think of the name of it. It's the one over there in the south western part of the Reykjavik side of Iceland. And actually, I'll probably end up doing a show about that in a couple weeks
Mhm.
because I actually think it's really worth talking about. And if you're not familiar with what's happening in Iceland and why it's so volcanic, it's a fun lesson in plate tectonics, and plate tectonics is fun for the whole family.
Exactly.
The dumb thing this week is that I have a new nickname, Ann Brothers.
Yes, and what is your new
I
nickname, Jenny Brothers?
You can just start calling me the Brotato. That's correct.
So why
I
well,
know.
yes, why are you the brotato?
Well, my third hour class has decided that I am the Brotato. Apparently, there's a game out there with a Brotato, and apparently, I fit the bill. So, my last name is Brothers. Most of my students shorten it up and call me Bro, and then, of course, Brotato just organically formed as a result of that. So yeah, you can just start calling me, and it is literally one of like 100 nicknames I've cultivated through the years. People have just decided that I'm nickname worthy. So
I guess so.
Brotato. Yep.
Brotato.
So
I was like, "Well, you do have on a brown vest today," and I have brown on
mhm.
too, so I thought maybe it's because you had, like, or maybe you were
Nope.
potato shaped, which, happens to
Yeah, I kind of am.
again,
Yeah, that's,
again,
there's truth
being
to that.
over 50, that's a
Yeah,
kind
over
of a
50,
potato
shaped like
shape.
a Brotato.
Mhm.
So indeed. All right, so should we get down to the nitty-gritty? And I know we've got tens of listeners who are waiting to know how this all came out. So
Exactly.
let's talk about this. So what we did is we do our various Mount Rushmores. We've done several, and so we talked about this is always something that's controversial, and we actually had a lot of people that responded to this. I've got an entire spreadsheet of data from
Oh,
people that got back to us about their favorite either TV or Christmas movies or whatever. So let's get to it. So the way we split this up, we split it up. We have Anne's Mount Rushmores, we have my Mount Rushmores, and then we have what are called the Sister Squad Mount Rushmores. And those are the people that were kind enough to give us some feedback on
mhm.
their favorite holiday movies or Christmas specials. So as you're watching, that is what we were looking at. And if you happen to be watching and are with us and you would like to comment throughout, by all means do so. We would love to hear from you. All right,
Exactly.
so the Mount Rushmores of so we're gonna start with the Mount Rushmore of holiday media TV specials. So it can be TV, it can be other media, and we will start with mine. So are you ready?
I am ready, Jenny. I'm ready.
So I put these in the position. I went from Lincoln to Washington. Technically, Washington is number one because he's considered the greatest president and the father of our nation, and basically held the early republic together with his bare hands, and that sort of thing.
With
And
his
actually
charisma and
stepped
charm.
aside.
Mhm.
Yes, and stepped aside instead of just taking the army and making himself king, which he totally could have done. He actually relinquished his power and stepped aside and then was voted president. So, you
Dang.
know, that's a
Dang.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, "I've been, re-listening to, Game of Thrones," and he's like, "He's got a ton of honor. He's full of
Mhm.
honor." Mhm.
I know, remember that when I remember when that was a thing, but instead now we have a guy that's talking about becoming a dictator, whatever. Okay, anyway.
Okay. Okay. Mhm.
Anyway, in the Lincoln position is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So, it's the Bass Rankin, the stop motion. It's just really great, and I still love it. So, in the Roosevelt position, we have How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and I'm not talking about the new one with Jim Carrey. Ugh. I'm talking about the original Boris Karloff. It's a musical cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then finally, in the Jefferson position, we have pretty much any Great British Baking Show holiday special because I
Mhm.
like the Great British Baking Show anyway, and then it's just another reason to watch the Great British Baking Show is that. So
Mhm.
there you go. So, and then finally in the Washington position, and this was not even close for me. It's the Charlie Brown Christmas special. I literally can't have Christmas until I watch that, and I actually own it now, so I can watch it whenever I want. But I do save it up, and it's still to me one of the best ones. And when I was in college, my roommates and I went out and found a stick, and we made it our Charlie Brown Christmas tree. So there you go.
It's so iconic. It's so very iconic.
It's Yeah, it's super iconic, and I think, as far as TV specials, it's the one thing we could stay up late for because that usually
Mhm.
didn't even start until 8 o'clock, and bed
Right.
was like 8:30, so we got to stay up late to watch the Christmas specials.
Mhm.
So, that
Yeah.
was totally awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. I remember when it would come out, I'd be so excited, and I was like, "This means
Mhm.
Christmas is coming, and this is a cool show," and yeah, so it's and of course, It's one of those things where you can be like, we should say, oh, because you're 50, you the Charlie Brown dance. It's just like it was something we all had in common. You went to
Yes.
school the next day and everybody had watched it. So
It was pretty awesome. It's
mhm,
true.
mhm.
Um, yeah, so and that was the thing. The only other thing that was as important as the Christmas specials was, of course, the JCPenney, Christmas catalog when that would come to your door. That was the other sign that it was coming, you
It
know?
was
Uh,
coming.
yes. Alright, so now, Anne, are you ready for your list?
I'm ready for my list, Jenny Brothers.
Okay, and here we go. It's all yours, Anne.
Okay, so I have my down. In my Lincoln position, I have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and of course, for all the reasons that I just said, it was an iconic thing. It's based on the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's on Prime right now. It's just one of those. And it was a little odd too. It's like there's just a little bit of oddness in it, and it just
Oh, no, it's
was
straight weird.
yeah. Is, like, even now is like it's like you can use it as an insult. Oh, wow, he's definitely from the land of what
Misfit toys.
misfit toys. So yeah, it's iconic, and it was always ushered in. You knew the holidays were almost there. Yeah, and the different character turns out to be the hero, which is when you're little, you often think of yourself as different or not that you're usually not thinking of yourself as can save the situation. Here, the different character saved the situation. So difference isn't a bad thing, it's a good thing. There you go.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Excellent.
My number 3, my Roosevelt position was A Charlie Brown Christmas, and what really stuck with me is, the music. It was one of
Mm,
the it was the only cartoon where the music was for, and that's not true, it's not the only one, but the music was composed by, Vince, I'm gonna say this wrong,
Vivaldi.
Guaraldi, who was a jazz musician, and so this music wasn't made for the Peanuts. They used the music, and it was a grown up and a little bit it was a little bit melancholy and beautiful, and that's something that's the music has really stayed with me. And actually, if you're interested, a number of years ago, George Winston redid all of his music and put it into an album called Lucy and Linus. So that's he does a great job with that. So I do
Did
own
not know
that.
that.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So,
Nice.
that's my Roosevelt position. In my, the next position I have is what is that, Jefferson? Yeah,
Jefferson.
Simpsons. So this is a season 1 episode, what was actually the premiere, episode of The Simpsons, roasting on an open fire, and I love this one because it's Santa's Little Helper, and it was just it kind of don't tell mom and dad, but it kind of didn't necessarily remind me of my Christmases, but I remember when there wasn't a lot of money at Christmas sometimes. And I was like, oh, this is a little more. And Bart gets a tattoo, and in his head, he's like, he gets a tattoo that was a heart with mom in it. And in his head, he replays, I'm going to get this tattoo. And mom's going to be like, oh, Bart, that's the sweetest thing you've ever done. I was like, oh my God, I remember thinking like that as a kid, like you were going to do something stupid. But, your parents were going to see the great intention and they were going to love it. And then it turned, oh. So I love that episode just because it was like that was a little more realistic. That was the first like more realistic Christmas episode I had ever
Buy
seen.
that. I'll buy
Mhm,
it. Hey,
mhm.
we got Tony Caselli with us. He said, "Great list. I love the Charlie Brown Christmas special. Jeannie does not like the Charlie Brown Christmas show because people are too mean to him." That is true. Another holiday
Mhm,
favorite in our family when I was growing up was A Year Without a Santa Claus. Oh yeah, that one came up quite a bit on our sister squad list for sure.
mhm.
For sure. Thanks, Tony, for jumping in with us.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. And then my last but not least is my most favorite holiday special is David Sedaris's Santaland Diaries, and the first time I heard that, I had spent a number of years working in retail at Christmas, which is hellacious. And his whole thing were being an elf in the Macy's for the Macy's Christmas Santa Land. It is so funny and so dark and sometimes just so heartbreakingly sad. And then it gets funny all over again. And man, I look forward to that every year. That is my most favorite thing. It plays into all the things I love, dark and funny. So that is my most favorite. That is in the Washington position. Santaland Diaries, David Sedaris, knowing how it is to work retail at Christmas.
Yeah, that's that is a and I didn't even think about that, but yes, it is dark and funny, and NPR usually runs it every Christmas.
Mhm.
If you're interested in hearing it, they usually do, and you can usually find it. Also, if you just go to YouTube, you can
Yeah.
YouTube Santa Line Diaries, and you can hear the entire. It's in entirety as well,
Mhm.
and it really is. He was actually dared to answer an ad in order to become a Christmas elf at Macy's,
Perfect.
and he
He was
did
perfect.
full time elf.
Full-time elf.
You know,
Oh god, it is so, so very funny. But if you
dark.
like your Christmas specials to be cheery and hopeful, my lists aren't necessarily for you.
Fair enough. All
Mhm,
right. So, and then the last one earlier in the week, I had asked our sister squad, those who follow us on Facebook, to give us your Mount Rushmore. And I got to tell you, the list was varied. We'll get to the top four here, and I'll talk about some of the other ones because some of them I had never even heard of before.
mhm,
So, I thought that was really interesting. So, sister squad, your Lincoln position was Frosty the Snowman, and Frosty the Snowman was one that I would watch it, but I never
mhm,
really liked it, and part of it is that I just never really liked the song. So,
mhm. Yeah, it was
but
fine. It was fine. It
yeah,
was on
that's how I would describe it as well. But
I put it
again,
on
it's
my
very
runner-up.
iconic. Rankin and Bass, I probably would have put it on the list somewhere had there
Mhm,
not been other things that I
mhm,
wanted to listen to. So the next one on the list, in the Roosevelt position, was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and I would call this list from the Sister Squad pretty traditional. But again, there was a lot of stuff on here. But like I said, I'm going to go through the movies first before I get to the runner-ups. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, in the Roosevelt position, in the Jefferson position, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and again the original, the Boris Karloff version, not the Jim Carrey version. Even though it's funny when I was asking my students, they're all over the Jim Carrey version. That was one of their very favorites. So kids don't know
mhm.
nothing these days, I swear.
I
Anyway,
swear.
and
I don't know
and then
about that.
again, I don't know about that.
Mhm,
But again, in the Washington position, pretty much roundly, a Charlie Brown Christmas. And again, this one wasn't particularly close. It was very much the front runner from start to finish. Charlie Brown Christmas for the Sister Squad.
mhm,
So yeah, again, a pretty traditional list, and I would say completely unsurprising, but
mhm,
still a great list and a very solid traditional by the book Christmas TV specials, that sort of thing. So, and then of course we went on. We wanted to talk about Christmas. This is the one that people really got into. The Christmas, TV one was just sort of kind of a byproduct, but people really wanted to talk about movies, and so most of the feedback we got was about the Mount Rushmore of holiday movies. So I thought we would go ahead and start with Anne's list. All right,
Alright.
your Mount
So,
Rushmore of holiday movies.
my route Rushmore in the Lincoln position, I had Krampus, which is a 2015 movie. And when I was looking at other like movie lists, like this hardly made anybody's list for anything. It is dark, but it takes place at Christmas, and it really has the hey, family is the most important thing. Basically, a lot of Christmas movies like to emphasize, your loved ones. That's what's most important. It's not the gifts, it's the people in your who are important in your life, and it really does emphasize that. The opening scene is hilariously funny. um this movie makes Gremlins look like It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay, that's
So
that's 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 not that's messed up.
it is messed up. So if you do not like a horror movie, because it is a horror movie, if you don't like a horror movie, this will not be for you. There's a scene in it though that's all stop animation that is just beautiful. It has an excellent cast. Adam Scott is in it, Tony Collette. It's got a really good cast. It's well written. The horror stuff is scary, and there's a lot of like stuff that's just like there's one scene where all the snowmen are just getting closer and closer to the house. Like you look out the window and there's a snowman, and then you look out the window and there's two snowmen, and then you look out the window and there's five snowmen, and they're a little bit closer. So there's a lot of that kind of scary to the kind of scary that has just messes with your mind. It's not like gory scary, but just messes with your mind. So there's a lot of that. And it's also one of
This
those movies that be careful what you wish for, which that happens a lot in Christmas movies as well. But in a lot of Christmas movies, being careful
Magi,
what you being careful what you wish for usually ends up bringing everybody closer together. This doesn't.
Monkey's Paw, which technically isn't Christmas, but it's kind of like Gift of the Magi, but
Yeah,
darker and
yeah,
nastier.
yeah.
Is Toni Collette becoming the new queen of horror? I ask you because she's been in like
Yeah.
Heredity, and she was in Sixth Sense, and then she was in
Mhm.
Krampus. I'm like, Toni Collette quietly becoming the queen of horror. Good
Yeah.
job, Tony. We
Yeah, so
love you.
it's, if you like a good dark, horror movie, and it does celebrate the Christmas. And my 4th place is Sisters. This is one of my favorite movies, and then the end scene does take place at Christmas, and it covers a lot, again, that, what's important? Are the things important, or is the family important? And to pull together as a family and to be with your family, that's the most important thing. And this movie is all about family. And of course, the last scene is a Christmas scene, and Tina Fey's character, of course, is like, if this doesn't smell like our Christmas, I will flip a table. So, again, what is a Christmas movie? Does it have to take place at Christmas, or does it have the themes of Christmas? And Sisters does a great job of having those family themes.
It's a legitimate question. It's a
Mhm,
question I cannot answer, and it's a question we will be addressing over and over as we go through our lists because you and I had some interesting choices.
mhm. Number of Jefferson for me was Scrooged. This movie still makes me laugh. And you know what my favorite, I will watch this movie over and over again for Carol King.
Mm,
Everybody in this movie is funny, but Carol Kane, I'm sorry, Carol
okay,
Kane steals it. She's not in it enough. She only has a couple, like 3 or 4 short scenes. Oh my God, bitch, hit me with a toaster. I mean, I adore her in this. And even though it's a great movie, she is truly the reason to watch this movie.
agreed. There are
Mhm,
versions of the Christmas Carol, and then there are Scrooged, which is just
mhm.
straight special.
And
I would
again,
agree.
with the ones you love. We're coming back to that Christmas theme of the family, be with the ones you love. Is much more important than the money or the gifts or anything like that. And then of course Elf. I rewatched Elf. I've seen Elf probably at least once a year since it's been out. I think like 2003 it came out, and I am still laughing at the movie every time we come to a new scene. I'm like, oh, this is my favorite scene. Oh wait, no, this is my favorite scene. Oh, I love this scene. Oh wait, no, this is my favorite scene. And I'm still laughing out loud with this movie. And it's kind of funny that Krampus is literally on one end of the spectrum, and Elf is on the complete opposite ends of the spectrum. Elf is silly and absurd and hopeful and ridiculous, and it's the total opposite of Krampus, and I love them both.
That's fair. That's
Hmm.
a strong list, Dan Brothers, and I like how
Hmm.
you've defended your use of sisters.
Hmm.
Uh, here
Christmas
we go.
themes. My apple keeps
Indeed.
rolling out of the basket.
Uh, Tammy, we got Tammy Peters with us. The Elf commercials, I love it. So
Hmm.
yes, uh, and I believe Tammy, you definitely had that the Elf on your list as well. So
Hmm.
well done. Yeah, that's a solid list. A little bit to left of center, which I like, but I think it's really good because again, when it comes to that, you'll see Sister Squad again went very traditional. I went a little bit to the left of center too, but I kept it. I felt this is a tight list, and I feel I can defend all of my choices. So for me, in the Lincoln position, Scrooge, and again, for now, I like Carol Kane in this movie. I think she's great. For me, there's other little things that I really like about it. Um, I think it captures. This movie was made in the late '80s. I think it was 80,
I want to say
80,
88. I
88,
wrote,
maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was released in 1988.
And I think they did a great job of capturing what TV was like in the '80s. You know,
Hmm.
he's an executive, TV executive. That beginning scene where they're doing all of the promos for it, it just cracked me up. The fact that you have this overstuffed Christmas special with all these absurd guests, like, the solid gold dancers. And that scene where the censor is having is having a fit because of how scantily clad the solid gold dancers are, and she's complaining that you can see the nipples of this dancer, and Bill Murray is like, can you see the nipples? And these guys are like, you can barely see them nipples, because it's a bunch of workers, and these guys, and he's like, yeah, these guys are really looking, and there's humor like that throughout it that just kills me. And so for me, that's half the fun. I'm like, I enjoy, the Carol Kane part of it, but it's how well they just capture that first half hour where you really see this is what it was like in the '80s, and the '80s TV is just full of these horrible network Christmas specials with every weird celebrity in some weird position, and it's still like that now, but it's just it feels somehow,
There was a lot less
less
TV to
random.
watch. There was a lot less
Yes,
TV to watch, so we were all watching that crap. Because what else were we gonna
correct,
watch?
correct. And so
The
I
Bob
love the way
Boulet
they
Christmas special.
excellent. And so I just think it's clever, and, it's funny because if you look critically, it's not a well-liked version. It was not super. well reviewed back in the day, and even now the reviews on it are kind of mediocre. But I just think it's really funny. I think it's clever, and the end, I get the feels at the end when the
Mhm.
little
Me
boy
too.
talks at the end. Tiny Tim talks. I'm just like, ooh, every time it just gets me. So love
You
it.
know
It's well cast.
and the thing is too is, like, it didn't do well when it came out, but
Mm-mm,
there was a lot of people that had it on their list. Scrooge made it on a lot of people's lists, and I think because
definitely.
whether you like it or not, it was made in the '80s. It's timeless. It has weathered fairly well. So,
I would agree. There's a few things in it that aren't great, but at the same time,
mhm.
most of the '80s isn't great in terms of aging. All
I was
right.
gonna say the '80s was terrible.
Now, in the Roosevelt position, I put The Sound of Music. Now, The Sound of Music is not a Christmas movie, but when do they show it every year? At Christmas. When was it on? Last week. So yeah, The Sound of Music is one of my favorite holiday and Christmas movies. A, because it's The Sound of Music, and B, because you just feel better when Julie Andrews is singing. And isn't that the whole point of the holidays, is to feel better when Julie Andrews is singing?
Loved
Yeah,
ones
that's
loved
what
ones
I thought.
coming together. Again, loved ones
Exactly.
coming together.
That is correct. So yeah, Sound of Music, absolutely. And Vivian Sylvester, you agreed with me that The Sound of Music, though not a traditional Christmas music, absolutely belongs on this list. So yeah, and it was one of those things that I always looked forward to seeing every year. You looked forward to seeing Wizard of Oz around Easter, and you look forward to seeing Sound of Music around Christmas. Boom. So yeah, that's on my list for sure. Let's see. And for me, the Jefferson is Elf. You almost it's so, and again, the same reason, it's funny, but at the end, when everybody's singing at the end, ooh, I get the feels again at the end of that movie when everybody starts singing and then the sleigh flies and it's just so great. Love it.
And all the kids are getting their breath. Yeah. Yeah, feels.
I know.
Feel.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the feels. So Elf is a no-brainer to me on that list. It captures everything. Um, and what I love is that Will Ferrell is the king of just committing and selling it. Just sells it, completely,
100%.
and sells it hard. So that's the brilliance of Will Ferrell in that role, is that it's perfectly cast. And then finally, this is controversial. I went with Babe as my Washington on the Christmas movies, and here's why. Number one, when you talk about what we're supposed to be at Christmas, we're supposed to be a little nicer. We're supposed to be better, and I'm of the opinion that if you want to be better, be like Babe, because Babe is not prejudiced. Babe has an open mind. Babe is a good leader. Babe does all of the things that is everything we should be, all wrapped up in an awesome baby pig, awesome talking baby pig. And again, you talk about a movie that just makes you feel great at the end of it. You can't help it, man. That'll do, pig.
Mm.
Waterfall.
Yeah,
So I just
exactly.
and it's amazing how many, this movie's, and this also kind of hurt my feelings a little bit when I realized that this movie is 30 years old. It'll be 30 years old in 1995.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know.
okay.
I know, right? So, and it's amazing. There are still a number of adults that I know that have never seen this movie, and most of my students have never seen it. I'm like, dudes, you need to watch this movie. You'll be better at the end of it. Trust me. So yeah, I think it's a Christmas movie, and I think as far as themes that go with this movie, and there is a Christmas scene in it because that's when Ferdinand the Duck yells that Christmas means carnage because his girlfriend got eaten. So at Christmas, Christmas means carnage. So
Yeah, and
there you go.
if you watch, Krampus, Christmas fucking means carnage.
But no, I just as far as Christmas movies go, that I just think it's one, I'm like, you could absolutely sit down with your old people or your young people
Mhm.
and watch and enjoy this movie. It's funny, it's smart, it's happy, it's sad, and it's memorable. It's got some great lines. It has singing mice. You can't go wrong with this movie
You
at
can't go
all.
I was gonna say, Duncan and I quote this movie often, often. "Hug it,
Perfect.
church."
I'll get to church. Christmas means carnage. Yeah. So anyway, that's my list. So now let's get to the list that people really want. They want to know the Sister Squad, Mount Rushmore of holiday movies. And again, I felt this list was pretty traditional. We'll talk in a minute about, there were so many. It took me an hour to synthesize all the data this morning. Just
Damn.
looking at, I just wanted to wait till the very last second, and it did, because people had very, long and interesting lists and lots of different things to say. So in the Lincoln, it is A Christmas Story, and I know I thought you and I would get some crap because we did not include this on either of our lists, though
Mm-mm,
it certainly is a great movie. It's a fantastic Christmas movie. It's just not on my Mount Rushmore. That's
mm.
all. So
No,
there
it's
are other movies, that I like better, that I look forward to seeing better, that I enjoy watching at Christmas better. My dad would tell you that this is absolutely the movie that encompasses Christmas, and I get that from my dad. This is a story that resonates with him, really well. So I get that. So that was a big one. The next one was Elf. Again, kind of a no-brainer. This one just showed up over and over. I kinda had this hierarchy of lists, and these 2 were kind of at the end of the hierarchy. So we had Christmas Story, and then we had Elf, and then this movie, Home Alone.
hmm,
We took a big leap between Elf and Home Alone, and again, this was universal because my students really felt that they love this movie more than any. So this is a big one with young people, and I think a lot of people really enjoy it because it's silly. It's got that fairy tale sense to it that this probably wouldn't happen in real life, but um, it's dumb and fun in that respect. And again, it's got this nice moment towards the end of the movie with Kevin's character and the old man, kinda coming
mhm.
together to defeat the wet bandits. So I get why people definitely I myself, again, I saw this movie a couple times, cute, but twice is enough.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I was like, "I've seen it. It was enjoyable when I saw it."
It was enjoyable. It was cute, it was fun. And then this was the runaway winner. It was not close. It's a Wonderful Life. And I get it, this is a great movie, all of the themes the funny thing about this movie is it's really again, it's not really a Christmas movie. There's Christmas at the end of it, but for the most part, this is not a Christmas movie. This is a movie about a man who is kind of
Bipolar.
at the end of his rope, and this movie is his story that leads to the culmination of him wishing he had never been born, and then an angel coming and helping him. But honestly, it really isn't until the end of the movie that we see the Christmas tree and those things. But for the most part, this is not a Christmas movie. And again, this movie was not popular. It was not well reviewed. It was not well attended. It was a flop back in the day, and became this classic Christmas movie as it got played on TV and WKBD out of Detroit, WGN, and all those, and it became a Christmas movie. But for the longest time, it was not. But
Yeah,
people, you know,
I hate this
you know,
movie. I hate that movie so much. I
well,
despise that.
if you don't like Jimmy Stewart, there's going to be because Jimmy Stewart he's got some piccadillies for sure. That if you don't enjoy him, then you're not going to enjoy this movie.
Yeah. But again, I would like to point out, be careful what you wish for. This is one of those that turns up all the time in Christmas movies, that theme of be careful what you wish for. So
Yes,
in this case, he wished for something, he got it. Well, he got to see what it would be like if he got his wish. So in the
right.
end, he decided to, he got to take it back. But you see that a lot in Christmas movies. It's like, oh, this is what I really want because I'm mad or angry or disappointed. And then you get a chance to, see what it's like. And then ta-da, oh no, I love, it's my family and the people I love that are the most important. So that you see that theme all the time in Christmas movies.
Well, and Home Alone is actually a really great example of that.
It is. It is
Kevin
another
wants
one.
to be alone, and then he is,
And
and
then
then
he
he
had
thinks it's great until it's not.
until it's not again, and again, he gets to take that back and his family comes back. And so, yeah, it's a common theme. And we like it at the holidays. We like to be reminded of what's important.
Yes. So, and you said you had a list of kind of honorable mentions. What does your honorable mentions list look like?
Oh, I had National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation because it's very funny. And again, family being the most important thing. Nightmare Before Christmas. My favorite holiday is actually Halloween, and so it marries that that Halloween with that sort of But Nightmare Before Christmas is interesting because it's more about the main character is going through a existential crisis, and he has to figure out that he doesn't get to tear apart anybody else's thing to build himself up, which is a very unusual Christmas theme you
It
know
is. Agreed.
but yeah, it's a great movie. Of course, Die Hard, because who doesn't want to see a bunch of semi Nazis get it in a big explosive thing. And again, family is the most important. Last Holiday is a cute movie, and it's one of those movies. It's got Queen Latifah in it. It's a super cute movie. It's a good movie to show, like, if your whole family wants to watch a movie, and you don't have to explain the movie while you go to some people, and it's not going to offend everybody. It's just a sweet, Lovely film. Office Christmas Party. This did not do well. I'm not even sure it went into theaters for more than 2 minutes, but it is very funny. Gremlins, of course, dark, and The Muppet Christmas is like one of the most popular Christmas movies. And I saw that occurring on our list a few times, but yeah, so those are my runner up for films, and then my runners up for TV or other entertainment were Frosty the Snowman and The Grinch. You know, they were. I remember them. I enjoyed them. I was excited when I saw them when I was young, but they just didn't make it onto my Mount Rushmore.
It's fair. Yeah, it's um for me the Muppet Christmas Carol is my I love the story of A Christmas Carol. I really like it.
Mhm.
I've loved it for years. I really loved it when I got to see it live in Denver at the Denver Center for the Performing Arts. They did a fabulous production of it. So it's always been a story I've always really liked. And that was hard for me because I had the choice of the Muppet one or Scrooge. And I felt like I didn't want to have both on there, so I picked Scrooge because that's the one I enjoy more. And even though it was hard for me because I like that version of it, and it's hard to vote against Michael Caine, who I adore.
Mhm.
Whom I anyway, I love him. So that was tough for me. And that was on the list. Looking at the list, like I said, our top ones were for the Sister Squad were It's a Wonderful Life, Home Alone, Christmas Story. But next on the list was Love Actually. That one came up a bunch of times. Let me see which one. Christmas Vacation was right up there, kind of tied with Love Actually for that next spot on the list. The Muppet Christmas Carol. I saw A Gift of the Magi, the George C. Scott version of A Christmas Carol. White Christmas popped up a couple times. Holiday Inn popped up on there. And I guess that's minus the blackface. I don't know. Holiday Inn, that one's tough. Scrooged was up there for a bunch of them. Gremlins was like the middle of the pack. Home Alone 2, Jingle All the Way, uh, both versions of Miracle on 34th Street, White Christmas again, the Santa Claus. Oh, this was I never even heard of this one. It was The House Without a Christmas Tree. Sean Bird, if you ever end up watching this, you should tell us about that one because that's the only one he posted. He even posted a picture, and apparently he is a big fan of the House Without a Christmas Tree. So if you know what that one's about, let me know. Apparently you can't stream it anywhere either, which is a huge bummer. Santa Claus again, and just plain old Claus. Those were the movies. As far as the TV specials, we had Frosty the Snowman, The Grinch, Rudolph, Charlie Brown Christmas. This one just missed out. Was The Year Without a Santa Claus. So that was the one, and then this one is a blast from the past. Mickey Stinnett put Nestor the donkey, and I was like Nestor the donkey, and then I'm like, oh yes. So Nestor the long-eared donkey is this Christmas special. It was one of those Bankin and or Rankin and Bass Christmas specials, the stop animation, and it was about this donkey during the time of Jesus that had these really long ears, and everybody made fun of him. And his mom always protected him, and then his mom was recruited to be in the Roman army, but she had to take Nestor, and then there was a blizzard, and the mom died, and she sacrificed herself for Nestor, and it's just this ugly cry movie. And again, Nestor eventually ends up being the donkey and the major scene. So I'm like, yeah, it worked out. But Mike, it was traumatizing as a child to see that one because the mom dies. And you're like, Nestor, no. And he's got that super cute face with his droopy ears, and his mom made him little socks to put on his ears. Yeah, thanks, Mickey. Thanks for bringing up that carnage. Thank you.
Yeah, really. You're making Krampus sound easy to watch.
Totally, totally. So yeah, that one was traumatic and terrible, and had forgotten all about it. And then Mickey reminded me. I'm like, oh yeah, Nestor. And I think they only showed it a couple times because something tells me they got phone calls.
They got so many letters. You're making my kids cry. You're making my
That's
children
right.
depressed.
You're totally scarring us for life because of Nestor the donkey. So anyway, that was kind of the almost made the Mount Rushmore list. And there was a bunch of them. Way to come through, Sister Squad. You guys kept us totally hopping. So
Mhm.
hooray. All right. So anyway, we wanted to give special thanks this week to Joe Peters, my husband. He's been doing a lot of he watches all the shows, and he's done a really great job of giving us feedback. So Joe Peters, special thanks to you. You are now our regional manager of constructive feedback. So yay.
Yeah.
I know. You get stickers for that.
I was
So
going to say, middle
huzzah.
management. Congratulations.
That's right. You're the middle manager of the Brother Sisters Smart Dumb Fund. Congratulations, and thank you for your excellent feedback. So if I figure out someday, we'll have really good production values instead of just using Google Slides, but one thing at a time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh, so sneak peek at next week. I know we're doing we're our show's a little bit shorter this week because it's the Christmas holiday. People got Christmas Eving to do, so there you go. I gotta sit down because we're supposed to watch Scrooge tonight. That's our Christmas movie tonight. So
Ooh, nice.
huzzah! Yeah. So next week, you guys, it will be December 31st. It will be New Year's Eve. We will have a super special guest with us next week, our entertainment expert and all-around Renaissance man, Chip Maley. We haven't had Chip on in a while. He's gonna join us next week. We're gonna talk about the best stuff of 2023, and we're gonna talk about our resolutions of 2024. That's right. Viva la resolutions next week. Same time, same place. So that should be a lot of fun.
Mhm.
A couple of quick reminders. You can support the Brother Sisters for absolutely free. That's right. All you have to do is like us, subscribe to us, follow us on either Facebook, Spotify, Instagram, or YouTube. You guys put the word out to your family and friends. They can like, follow, subscribe as well. They don't even really have to listen to them. They don't even have to pay anything. It's totally free. Just spread the word and get us out there. We'd really like to garner some more followers. You know, the more support we get, the more content we can make, the better we can make the content, the more cool guests we can have on, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Yeah. And and
okay,
and and
Joe is
once you
watching.
once you listen to us for a little bit, you're gonna wanna listen to us all the time. So,
That's right, because we're calming.
mhm.
Don't you feel
Mhm.
calm?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I feel
Yep.
calm. Mhm.
Yes. Joe, you
I
feel
do
important
remember.
because you are important. You're a regional
Exactly.
manager. Okay.
Exactly. Mhm.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, folks, I'm going to bring us back up to the front here. Merry Christmas to everybody. Have a great night. Be safe. If you're going to church, go do your church thing. Hope you get all of the Christmas presents that you ever wanted tomorrow, or I hope
Family.
you get to eat all of the delicious Christmas food.
Mhm.
So, and your family, hug your loved ones, give them a big old wet sloppy kiss and a hug. And we're having tacos tomorrow. The Brothers family is having taco. We're having lamb tacos, chicken tacos, and carnitas tacos, plus tamales, plus New Mexico style red chili. It's not Colorado red chili, person from Ann's work life, whatever.
Yeah, I know. She said, "Oh, my son's making Colorado chili," and then she starts telling me, I'm like, "Oh no, that's New Mexican red chili. Don't say that. Don't say
Where they
that."
chili. Come on,
Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
So
Come on.
anyway,
Oh, oh.
yeah, that's tomorrow's festivities. So we'll probably play some dumb games and we will have delicious foods and delicious beverages. And we'll enjoy some rainy and 50s weather. We'll enjoy some March-like weather, or some April-like weather here for Christmas. So, which is funny because this time last year we were having a blizzard. So,
Yeah, I was
you
gonna say
know,
last year Duncan and I didn't go anywhere because it was too
no, we
cold
didn't
and too
either. Yes, all the roads were socked in, so we didn't
Mhm.
go anywhere. We just
Nope.
stayed in our pajamas and watched whatever. So,
Yep.
yeah,
That's pretty much what
right
we
on.
went and got sushi later. So
Yeah. Perfect. All right, Tony, thank you for watching, you guys.
thanks,
We
Tony.
appreciate you. Thanks a bazillion. Wait, I got to put our brand back up there. Wait, I have to do this. Wait, I can't do anything until I do the super special music.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I got to
Mm,
put the back on there. Super special music. It's the Ooh, I like to do the dance pop at the end.
yeah,
Wait
I
for
think
it.
that's the
This one
choice.
has like the
It's a
can you hear
slow,
it?
slow start.
It's a slow build. Yes, we'll get there.
Oh, there it is. I heard it.
There it is.
There we go.
Yes. All right, you guys, until next week where we will meet up for our last show of the year, New Year's Eve. Thanks, everybody. Merry Christmas to you. Love you. Peace out.
Bye. Merry Christmas.